Hello, 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 brothers and sisters. How's it going? Hope you're having a splendid day or evening, depending on where you're at. So, lust. Lust, as we all know, born again Christians, lust is the most common weakness of the chosen people of God. It's our Achilles heel. Yeah, having a problem with lust is very, very common among us, chosen people. Many Bible giants had this problem with lust. King David, for example, King Solomon, even though King Solomon was one of the most wisest people in the Bible, yet he himself struggled with this, brothers and sisters. Samson, another example. Apostle Paul, even though he hasn't explicitly said it, uh, that this was one of his problems, but I think this is what he was talking about when he was talking about the thorn in his side. I mean, even if this wasn't what he was talking about, I'm pretty sure he had this problem too. This is a very common problem among us chosen people, the problem with lust. Yeah, lust is one of the devil's biggest weapons in his arsenal. We should all be very careful with it. We should wage war against this passion, brothers and sisters. As we all know, pornography, internet pornography is mostly free. I mean, you can pay for it, but who pays for it, you know? It's free. It's free for a reason, because you pay for it with your soul. That's why it's mostly free, brothers and sisters. So in this video, I'm going to give you a few tips to keep lust at bay. I mean, there's no way to be free from it. You can never be free from the temptations of lust completely, but you can at least put a damper on them, you know? You can not give in to the temptations of lust, you know? So tip number one, guard your eye. The eye is a window to the soul. Whatever the eye sees, it takes in. So if if light enters through the eye, then you'll be filled with light. If darkness goes through the eye, then you'll be filled with darkness. Whatever the eye sees, that's what you're going to become, you know? So if you're on social media, for example, if you're browsing a lot of social media sites, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, those sort of sites. Once you sign up to these, if you're new, and once you sign up, you make an account on these, for example, you're going to notice you're going to be bombarded by scantily clad men and women of fair-looking, beautiful, of course, men and women. And this is by design, of course, because, you know, Satan wants us to be slaves to lust, you know, to the flesh. So what I suggest to you is, if you can, just boycott these sites completely. You know, don't log on to them if you can. Instagram, Facebook, Threads. Threads is like a it's partnered with Instagram. It's where you post like threads, like topics of conversation. Even there, you're gonna see a lot of inappropriately clothed men and women. I mean, this thing is a sickness. It's spreading like wildfire on all social media sites, even sites that in the past they were good, like DeviantArt, for example, if you know this site, where you post artistic photos. Even that has been filled with filth now. So if you can, just go on a social media fast. But if for some reason, for any business reason, for example, you have to keep logging on to these sites, then you're going to have to work very hard to train the algorithm to not feed you these inappropriately dressed men and women, these Jezebel spirits. Jezebel spirits can be a man, of course, too. I'm not talking about just women. So yeah, if you see these photos, the way to train the algorithm is don't click on these photos. Don't comment. Only comment on wholesome stuff. On Instagram, for example. Search for wholesome stuff. And that's how you train it. You train the algorithm slowly, like a dog, to feed you the things that you want to see, to feed you only wholesome stuff. And not these scantily clad men and women, these Jezebel spirits, So, yeah, guarding your eye is very, very crucial to keeping lustful temptations at bay. Because, as the saying goes, out of sight, out of mind. And this saying holds true 95% of the time as far as lust goes. Out of sight, out of mind. If you don't see the objects of your desire, then slowly you're going to forget about them, So tip number 2, this is very crucial as well. Clean up your diet. I mean, if you're chowing down on fast food, for example, every day, McDonald's, pizzas, junk food, potato chips, how do you expect to defeat lust? How do you expect to curb the temptations if you don't have your diet in check? Eat healthy food, If you're not cooking, then start cooking. It's very hard to eat a healthy, balanced diet if you're not cooking, for example. It can be simple meals. It doesn't have to be anything complicated, Eat healthy meats, like lean meats, turkey, chicken, fruits, vegetables, whole grains. Whole grains have fiber in them. Fiber keeps you full, as well as protein. Beans, legumes, chickpeas, pulses, split peas, rices. Spaghetti is good too. Black-eyed peas, another great bean. Yeah, beans, legumes, lentils, another good one. These are all healthy food that will keep you full, and you're gonna be able to reduce your calories. And by reducing your calories, you're gonna keep the sex drive, keep it under control. And this discipline of keeping your diet in check is going to carry over into your spiritual life. Brothers and sisters, I assure you of this. And cooking itself is a wonderful discipline. So, way to express yourself. I myself, I didn't like cooking, but now I've started to cook and I love it. It's it's a way to express yourself, be creative on how to combine certain foods. certain lentils and beans. Us people in Greece sometimes, we combine lentils with a certain type of rice we call grisaraki. I don't know how you call it in English, but we combine lentils and certain rices in our dishes, and we put chicken in there and potatoes and other types of meats, and it's very creative endeavor, cooking. So I seriously urge you to start cooking if you don't already. Brothers and sisters, yeah, this disciplined diet will carry over to your spiritual life. It'll help you to resist the temptations of the flesh, lustful temptations, and avoid sugar, of course, because sugar really activates a fight or flight response, which can be turned into lustful urges, you know. So intermittent fasting, yeah. Intermittent fasting is where you fast for a certain amount of period of hours, say like a 16-hour period. I myself, personally, I do 2 meals a day. Sometimes I'm not always. Sometimes I overeat. I'm human, of course. Binge eat, but yeah, give the 2 meal a day a try if you haven't already. You know, and of course, classical fasting, biblical fasting. That's great too, to keep the sex drive in control. Of course, the thing with fasting, you have to be careful with it. You shouldn't overdo it. You have to fast for the right reasons. You have to fast for the glory of God, not the glory of yourself. Because fasting, of course, can be used to pump up your pride. I mean, this is why Pharisees love to fast. They love to fast. To brag, to pump up their own ego. This is not the correct way to fast, brothers and sisters. Fasting should be solely for the glory of God. And it's going to help you immensely to keep the sexual urges at bay. This type of fasting. So tip number 3, get busy. Slothfulness is in the toolbox of the devil. You can't just twiddle your thumbs and expect to defeat lust. Now, lust is no joke, brothers and sisters. Yeah, you have to get busy. Fill your day with routines, wholesome routines. Become a workhorse for the Lord. Do good deeds. Help the poor and the needy. Whenever you pass a beggar on the street corner, for example, give them change. Whatever you can spare, even $1 or €1 can go a long way in helping them. And Jesus himself told us to help the poor and the needy. Um, volunteer for a nonprofit organization, a soup kitchen, for example, or an unaliving hotline. Another great example. Spreading the gospel. If you're working 9 to 5, spread the gospel to your coworkers. Of course, don't shove it down their throats. For they're not receptive, then don't cast pearls to swine. But if they're receptive, then give them the gospel. of the salvation, through Jesus Christ, His completed works on the cross. Pray endlessly. Strengthen your relationship with God, with Christ, through prayer. Pray for others. Read the Bible. I mean, we're expected as born-again Christians to, do works, produce fruit. We're like a tree. We're like a fig tree that has to produce good figs. I know we're not saved by our works, but doing works is a consequence of being saved, as we all know. Yeah, doing good deeds, of course, and being busy in general, even in your hobbies. Have an exercise routine in place. If you don't have a gym membership, for example, sign up for a gym, start lifting weights, or do a sport. I myself, in my youth, I used to play a lot of soccer with my friends in the neighborhood. Yeah, take up a sport like volleyball, soccer, basketball, cycling. Pick up your bike and ride your bike every day, or even just walking. Walking itself. If you walk every day for half an hour or an hour, for example, that's going to help you tremendously. Keep the urges at bay. And also have a mental exercise routine in place to keep your brain active. Solve Sudoku puzzles, for example, Bible readings, or reading in general, anything. Like a Christian short story, Christian novel, something wholesome. Can be something secular, but something wholesome. Yeah, solving, math puzzles, chess puzzles, to keep your brain active. That's gonna, keep him busy in general. That's gonna be your cornerstone weapon against lust, brothers and sisters. And now tip number 4, flee from sexual immorality. What do I mean by this? I mean, if you know the story of Joseph, when he was tempted by one of Pharaoh's wives, to sleep with him, he actually physically ran away from her. This is why we say flee from sexual immorality, because lust is one of those things you can't defeat by resisting the temptation. The lust is too strong we can't defeat it by our strength. We can't defeat it by resisting it. We can't fight the urges. As the saying goes, fight or flight. We have to flight. We have to flee, not sit there and fight. You can't fight this thing, this passion. It's stronger than us. We have to rely on Christ to help us through prayer, of course. We should pray, of course, for Jesus to help us with this passion, of course. But when I say flee, I don't mean physically to flee from somewhere. I mean spiritually to flee away from lust. What I mean by this is take physical measures against this. Install porn blockers on your browser, for example. Have accountability partners. If you go to church, your pastor can be an accountability partner. Ask him to help you, to keep you accountable. You can confess to him. And you can join a community of like-minded people who are trying to defeat lust, no fappers, for example. They can help you to be accountable in order to not look at porn, for example. And you can help them. You can help each other to not look at it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. What I had for you today, brothers and sisters, in order to defeat lust. When I say defeat, I don't mean we're always going to feel tempted from time to time, even if we have a long streak of not fapping, for example. And the temptations are never going to go away because we're stuck with our flesh. As I said in the video about the flesh, you can cast out demons from yourself, but you can't cast yourself out of yourself. We're stuck with our sinful nature until we're transformed into our glorified bodies. The time of the rapture, brothers and sisters. So we're always going to have this war against lust. But over time, we can become stronger in resisting the urges, fleeing from the urges. Each time we fall, we get wiser on what our triggers are, and we avoid them. Oh, and one more thing: avoid getting angry. Anger can be a big lust fuel. Avoid situations, avoid people that make you angry on a regular basis. Because if you get angry at a regular basis, then you're going to have a hard time resisting urges of the sexual urges. So avoid these people who are making you angry in these situations as much as possible. So yeah, that's pretty much it I have for you today, brothers and sisters. If you want me to lift up a prayer for you, then send a suggestion my way. Comment in the comment section below. And I'll lift up a prayer for you. And also lift up a prayer for me too, brothers and sisters. We should all be praying for each other, helping each other out, especially these days, these trying days. So I hope this video was a blessing to you. And if it was, then put the smack down on those buttons, the like button, the subscribe, the notification bell. Comment down below what you think. If you're struggling with lust, as most of us are. And I'll see you, brothers and sisters, in the next video. Bye-bye. So, brothers and sisters, I'm here cooking, as you see me doing. These are what we call, us Greeks, these are called chickpeas. I don't know if you can see them clearly. These peas are very tasty, very filling, packed with protein. These have to be soaked overnight in water for about 8 to 10 hours. And then they have to be cooked for about 45 minutes. So this is a wonderful, healthy meal for you. You know, you don't have to get too fancy with it. You can put some olive oil in it, salt, pepper, whatever spice you want to put in it. I also put apple cider vinegar, meloxido, call it in Greek. Yeah, this is a very tasty meal. I don't know, should I turn this channel into a cooking channel? Leave a comment below. I'm just kidding, of course. But yeah, I'm filming this, and I don't know in which video I'm going to put it, but I'm going to put it in one of my videos. Just as an example to show you, brothers and sisters, the wonderful world of cooking. And this is another tasty meal. Big beans, we call them gigantes in Greek. The word for word translation is giants. These are really big beans. I mean, don't look them, when they're cooked, they're much bigger than this. They're huge. You can cook them in a pot, or you can cook them in the oven. There are two ways to cook these. So yeah, that's pretty much it.